this after the feed, but I need to talk like this during to make sure it's gone all live. Right, it has gone live.
Yeah, I've just had the notification.
Just to make sure everything's gone through. This comes on the feed afterwards. I'm talking like this after the feed, but I need to talk like this during. Turn that off.
Yeah, right.
You loud fucker. I need to talk like this. Oh, I need to turn mine off and all. Just wait till the notification goes out because you've just got the YouTube notification. So, good evening and welcome to episode 78 of Endless Banter. I had a full show organised, ready, and waiting for Mr. Paul Harrison, but he's too busy at the polling station tonight, I think. But we won't go there. So, good evening to everybody who's in chat. Craig Green, Mr. Pickering, Paul Collins, Liz, Ashley, Kirk, Pixie, Claire. Hope we're all doing well this evening. If you could and a share, guys, we would really appreciate that. As you can see tonight, we have not got the big man himself. We've got another big man, which is Mr. Adam Rayner. Good evening, sir.
All right, mate.
And we've also got the man, the myth, the legend. He's never been on the show before. I've been on his side of the show, but he's never been on our show. And he's named himself Vapor Expo Phil, but it's just Phil. Phil from the Vapor Expo. Good evening, Phil.
I don't know what I'm doing, mate. It just said no.
It's a wing show tonight. We're just going to wing it. Anybody who's in chat who wants to talk about politics, you might get some later, but not much. So, Adam, how's your week been? What are you vaping?
Good.
And how's your little legs?
Yeah, she's like I said, she's a nuts. Just can't believe how much she's changed in 5 weeks. But I'm all right, busy, no sleep. And pretty much that's about it.
That's the life, mate. That is the life. What's this? What are you vaping on tonight? What's this new pod you were showing us before the show? If nobody's
just the boost. The boost. Actually, Craig Green is in the chat. He bought it for me randomly. Didn't expect it. Thought it was really nice. I was vaping that, and the Snow Wolf and the Dirtier just to mix up a bit.
He's prepared.
He's prepared. Yeah. He's had them. They had the call half an hour ago. Get your shit ready. We're going live. So, Phil, how's your week been? What have you been up to? What are you vaping? What you have for tea? I know you were eating some. You put it on Instagram earlier, I believe. Having pizza.
I didn't my week's been great. I'm about £1,300 down due to a recent fishing trip where I broke an £800 bivvy and a £550 rod. After that, my car broke as well, but I've had my car back now. So they've replaced the gearbox in that. So I've had my car back.
You're telling me you've had a very expensive week. Leading up to Christmas, you've had a very expensive week.
Yeah.
Oh, the worst time.
But I have had an Indian, and I've also had a pizza to make up for it.
You can't mind at that. At least you were safe. If you want to let everybody know how you broke your fishing bivvy, tent, or whatever people want to call it, how did you break it?
Well, I actually didn't. Realistically, it was not me. 2 o'clock in the morning, I had a run. Basically, I had a fish take my bait and start swimming off with it. My alarm started going off, so I unzipped the front door to have a look at what was going on. And as I unzipped the front door, there was Mr. Wind fucking entering into my bivvy. Decided to take it away like a fucking kite. Take me upside down. I mean, I grabbed onto the top bar, and as it went upside down, I went with it. So I did sort of like a backwards roly-poly. At this stage, my bed went on top of my head, basically knocked me out for about 30 seconds, and then the lads pulled me out, sorted it all out, threw the rods in the side, went back to sleep in a proper shit state.
So I'd like to explain that Phil does not usually do extreme fishing, but that last weekend was extreme fishing. Let's just say the man did a backward flip and fucking landed on his head, and we seems to be all right now.
Did you catch anything decent?
I had a 26 pound carp, a 21 pound carp, and like a 19 pounder. So by Tom's standards, yeah, it's fucking massive. One mine, so it was pretty small. But yeah, it was a good weekend. It was a really good social. Went through 20 bottles of San Miguel on the first night.
So that's why you flipped over in your fucking bivvy. You were pissed and fell over, and it literally fucking pulled you back.
No, that was the second night when I was sober.
Are you sure? Are you
if it happened on the first night, I'd have slept on the floor upside down. I did not even turn it round. I just left it all there and literally just put my bed over the top of me.
This is very true. But Adam, if you don't know, Phil's also got a UK 40 as well, which is a big fish for UK standards. So Phil's a very good little angler. I'm kind of.
I've got a 33 pound carp in Spain.
Shall I tell him the joke about the syndicate? Shall I tell Adam? Because Adam is an avid fisherman as well, an avid angler. So Phil joined a winter syndicate for the end of this year, and it's £150, Adam. So Phil's been fishing this lake 3 times as a guest. So on his first session, twice as a guest, and then your third session was as you first joined the membership on the lake. So it's £150 to join. He was due to pay the £150 in the morning of the Sunday, but Phil decided on his first night to catch a 40, the biggest fish in the lake, on his first night when he'd not even paid the 150 quid to fish the syndicate. So then Phil decided it'd be a great idea to then hand over 150 quid and carry on fishing the syndicate with the biggest fish already under his belt. In that aspect, things that have got off.
Is that a record on the lake?
Pardon?
Is that a record over there?
Yeah, I've set the record. The biggest they had out before me was like a 38 pound or something like that. They didn't even know that 40 was in there. But it's a big venue. It's like over 100 acres in size, water-wise.
Yeah.
Big lake.
There's a few thousand fish.
Yeah, I think there's about 2,500 fish in there, roughly.
So what he's saying to us, Adam, is that they basically fucking crawl up your line. So I'm going fishing there in a few.
Well, if you cast 2,500 fish in such a big venue, it's not actually that much, because you go to a small 1 acre pit where it's got 300 fish in it. It's only the same sort of fish to water ratio as you would in that 100 acre pit.
Yeah.
Or reservoir, shall I say. So yeah, there is a lot of fish there, but they're not as easy to catch as you think. Like, I've gone on there and like lads have been on there for 3 nights straight and not caught. I mean, I don't know what the fuck they do when they don't catch for 3 days, because I'm fucking kick myself in the teeth. Like, but
I don't even take enough food for 3 nights, let alone just sitting there for 3 nights.
Apparently, they unpeg their bivvies and start using them as strikes.
This is true. Right, so I brought down some questions for tonight. There's not really much news. There's politics news that I really don't want to discuss, because then it just gets all up and down, and Paul's the best person to discuss that with. So I wrote some questions down tonight, lads, that we're going to go over, and then I've got some funny questions after. So I'm going to start with you, Adam. The first question that I've got, obviously I'll come back to you after Phil, but the first, what is the biggest challenge you faced in vaping? And this can be from learning, from trying new juices, getting your right nicotine levels, anything. What's your biggest challenge you faced in vaping?
I don't know. I found when I come on the scene, everything was at hand. So, like, if you needed the help, you've just got to ask the right people. The only challenge I did find is you get some people in some groups that are like elitists. So if you first start building and you start using a clone and they get on you, like, you shouldn't be using that, you're going to blow your face up. And I mean, I don't think it's as much now, but back about 2-3 years ago. It was then. But I mean, I always find anything that I'm struggling with. There's always someone out there that knows or will know an easier way. But I mean, I don't really know. The Nick shots piss me off a bit because when I pull them off, I get it in my mouth. That kind of annoys me.
That's a good one. Like that.
Yeah. Other than that, it's yeah. I don't know. I don't know what.
It's a bit of a tough question.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff that annoys me, but I'm pretty vocal in stuff that annoys me. So like, it's not nothing. There's no like out and out challenges other than I don't know, other than just trying to keep my mouth shut sometimes.
I like that.
Yeah.
What about you then, Phil? What would you say is the biggest challenge? It can be either like to do with work or anything like that. It can be anything to do particularly with vaping. Like, what's your biggest challenge you probably faced in vaping?
If we involve work, then I've got a big shitload of a list for you. But I think out of everything, I can't remember which show it was. It was one of the fairly recent ones. We struggled getting in touch with a fair few exhibitors for the banners. As you know, I arrange all the banners. I have to send everything for print, etc. We couldn't get hold of a few exhibitors for the banners. When I say a few, I mean like 80% of them. A few of them dropped out last minute and decided they weren't having them. Which didn't bother me. We already had the money for them, so up to them. But yeah, to be fair, they dropped out. It's been sorted out since. But yeah, I got left with probably about 25 different banners I had to design myself. In the space of, oh God, I don't even know. It was probably about 2 days I had for that. I stayed up the unit till like 2:30 in the morning working on it, and I was back in there 8:30 the time. 8 o'clock, yeah. Again, I finished. I went back home. I carried on from home. Then the printers turned around and said, "We've misprinted one of the banners that have to be rigged, which have to be at the NEC a lot sooner." And they was going to be there 3 days later with all the other ones. So yeah, it was all a little bit scary. Like I was like driving to the show with a fucking bumhole like this.
It literally sounds like your job is a challenge.
Everything was sort of sorted.
It sounds like your job is a challenge, though, Phil. Sounds like your biggest challenge in vaping is your job.
Well, it is. It's a lot harder than going.
Turn up on Saturday, Sunday, think that it's not a challenge. So, next question.
What about you?
Me, what's my biggest challenge?
Oh, yeah, Tom.
What's my biggest challenge I faced in vaping? I would probably say the biggest challenge I've ever faced in vaping is getting up on the stage. Mentally, my own mental state. Like people, I obviously do the live shows and I do a lot of stuff with Paul and we do stuff on the stage and stuff like that. But the minute before literally before I got on the stage at Expo, I absolutely shit myself, and this is the God's honest truth. I'm shitting myself till I stand on that stage and either Ashley or Phil or Johnny pass me a mic. I'm absolutely shitting it. Once I get on the stage and I pass me a mic, I'm absolutely fine. That's probably my biggest challenge is public speaking. But the minute I get up there, I feel at home. But yeah, my biggest challenge ever I've faced in vaping is public speaking, and Paul's probably got the same answer to that and it made me laugh because Paul obviously recently did the battery safety talk on the Theatre Expo in October, and he said to myself and a few other people, I'll be on there 15 minutes. That's all I'll do is 15 minutes. I need to just get this off. I've got a speech. It's not going to last 15 minutes. Later, he still stood on the fucking stage. You know what I mean? So once he gets up there, he's the same as me. You know what I mean? He's very much like, oh, you know, we got to do this, and it's not like shitty bum. It's not like we're scared. It's just your adrenaline's like pumping because we're not public speakers, we're not performers, we just get up there and be ourselves. But
I remember my first expo before I had anything to do with Endless. In fact, I probably just started building. You done the V Juice final on the stage, and I remember standing next to you, and Paul said to you, "Well, you got to go and talking to me." He went, "Fuck that, you got to do it." And he went, "No, you doing it." And you basically had a row on the side of the stage. I think it was banter row, but it was like, "No, you doing it. No, you doing it."
Yeah, that was the Cloud Comp, wasn't it? That was the very first tour. That was a tour Cloud Comp, and it was because it was meant to be. So I can't remember who was meant to be doing it. It was somebody else meant to be hosting it, and Paul was like, "Nah, Tom, you're doing it." I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Nah, it's not happening. And I was like, "Nah, it's not happening." I was like, "Paul, you can do it." He's like,
"Nah." Was in the final with that kid, weren't he? Richard Wall was in the final against him, and then there was pointless me.
Yeah, Corey. Yeah, that was the tour. The tour Cloud Comp was really good, really good. Right. So my next question is, what do we take for granted in vaping?
I'm working. I'll come into you in a sec, okay? Sorry, guys.
No stress. Now the question is, and I'll put it to you again, Adam, is what do we take for granted in vaping?
I think once again, we are coming to vaping at the right time. I think I've always taken for granted the fact that I can just put a coil in a big tank and blow big clouds, and I can do the same in the mouth to lung. Whereas from what I heard and what I hear from throughout the years, it was so much harder to be able to, like, you can't just go and blow a big cloud with little tiny baby coils, and you had to build your own coils, and then you had to put it on basically on an AA battery, and maybe you don't blow yourself up. But yeah, I think everyone takes that for granted. Maybe I know I certainly do, but I do enjoy building when my head's right.
For me personally, because I'll go into it and then I'll let you have a go, Phil. For me, that is one of the biggest things that vapors do take for granted, is not necessarily the cloud in a box, but the ease of vaping. Like, anybody that wants to stop smoking now through vaping has so many options, and it's so easy to do it. I honestly believe you don't have any excuse not to be able to quit from smoking to vaping unless you don't have the willpower or you don't want to do it. They are literally the two things that feel like but it's so easy just to pick up a mod and it just work these days. There's no sort of like true modding goes on that you have to do certain things. I remember re-wicking coil heads. Do you know what I mean? Even the coil heads we used to re-wick. I don't know if you ever knew of like cartomizers. When cartomizers first came out, you used to drip the liquid down the cartomizers, and they used to get quite pissy. And what we used to ended up doing, you know, in a filter of the fish tank, like the blue stuff, you used to cut them into circles and push them down into the carto so it'd soak up more juice. Stuff like that.
I kind of wish I was about them, because these little things, it sounds like fun trying to make it. Whereas now everything comes with a warning label and fucking shit like that, and it half scares you from fucking trying something new. Do you know what I mean? I mean, not me. I'll do stupid stuff, but only because I've got that mindset that I want to try it and I want to see what it's like. But 90% of the people out there, I'm going to try different builds. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Do you know what I mean nowadays? And it's scaremongering, fake news, if you like.
Definitely. Yeah. That's definitely back to politics in that one. I'll just mention Danny Talbot says lots of people take home law for granted, which I agree with that. People it's there or not, and if building, then it's not something.
Yeah, I mean,
people really use.
Major parts of Ohm's law, yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of it that's unnecessary, I think.
It's battery safety for me that people take.
Yeah, the battery safety side of it, yeah, of course.
Back in the day, it was drilling holes in RDAs. I remember fucking doing that. And Jason Dews makes a one word. Well, it's an acronym, and he says TPD. People take granted TPD.
That would have been my answer as well if it came around to that.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I was going to say. Our regulations, mate. It's just it's literally everyone in the chain is taking it for granted. So like, there's companies out there when it first started, you didn't need any clean rooms, anything like that, and they was going out of their way and actually getting it all done properly and doing everything the right way around. And that's when the juice was valued. That's when you were selling like 60 ml bottles for like fucking 25 quid or something stupid like that. And now it's like you can go. I'm not going to name the area from where you can get it from, but there's an area in the UK where you can go and buy fucking bathtub juice for £1 for 100 ml. Then they're making 10p on it. The wholesalers are making some sort of money on it because they're buying it really cheap. Then it's going out to the shops. Then the shops are getting it in, and then consumers are coming in. Oh, you got anything cheap? Anything to last me the week before I get paid or something? And they buy this shit, and then it's like, oh, my coil hasn't lasted, or oh, this juice is horrible, or I got a weird aftertaste. I'm not going to vape no more because this made a cough. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to pay.
Taking it back to prices, man. Taking it back to price. I remember paying like 35 quid, 40 quid for 100ml bottles.
Yeah, it was
a lot of dough.
Yeah, when I first started, I was stuck on the Black Series, and it was £25 for I think 50ml, and it was like they come in a bottle with the drippers, and it was. I mean, the box was nice. It come with a box, but you throw away the box, didn't you? But it's still 25 quid. And then when TBD did come in, and then short fills, I mean, it's a good way around it, but then it just dropped the prices, and people don't want to be paying 15 quid for 30, 40ml or 50ml of juice now.
But then you can still get like 100ml bottles for like 23 quid, 21 quid, and they're still the quality they used to be back in the day. It might be a new brand, but they're doing everything the right way around, and you can see it because of the charging they're putting in. They're not going to charge you 21 quid if it's cost them £1 to make it.
Yeah.
They're only going to charge you 21 quid because they've got to make some money off it. The wholesaler is having to pay extra for it, but it's getting done properly. It's got its testing done. Everything's fucking safe in it. It's the way it should be, really.
Well, that's like the gentleman code, wasn't it? Because still the TPD doesn't state to this day that you have to mix in a clean room. It just says a purpose-built room. It doesn't actually state clean room. So it's kind of for me personally, the UK took it on themselves to do that, to make their clean rooms and make the standards. The only issue I have with that, and what scares me about it though, Phil, is a few times, is that we set that precedence for ourselves. So we've set it so majority of people are running from ISO 9s to ISO 7s, and there's probably a few companies running higher than that. We set that standard for ourselves. Then what happens when Big Tobacco turns around and says, well, we've been running on ISO 1, the top fucking bollocks for the last 2 years. That standard has to be the standard. Everybody who's running an ISO 9 or ISO 7 then goes, fuck me, millions put into my clean room. So then everybody closes.
I don't think you can jump from going, you can make it in your shed in your bathtub to you got to have the high-end ISO room. I just don't think it would go down that route. I think if anything, it would be like a ISO 9 room or something like that. I don't think they'd make much of a leap straight away. Maybe after time, but then you've got time to build on it. Do you know what I mean? If you can see that there are precautions and starting to build the sort of rules and regs up a little bit more and making it a little bit more regulated, then you start working with it and start investing in your clean room and stuff.
I think these big companies that do white labelling and they're making other people's juices, they should do that extra step to get that little bit more cleaner or make everybody feel a bit more happy with the product, if you like. But that's purely because they've got someone else's business in their hands. It's so easy to get white labelling done now, isn't it? I mean,
oh yeah, you can just go on Google now and have something done for your shop in 2 days' time.
But back to what Phil's saying though, like it might happen over time. Do you think we've got time?
Yeah,
like, is time on our side? Do you think it's really on our side?
I think we have in the UK, definitely. I don't think time's on our hands in America, and places like that. I think UK, they haven't gone so far as to be anti-vaping yet.
But
whether that's coming or not.
Even America, though, I think it's still got loads of time before it all goes down the pot because they keep putting these rules in and keep going, oh, you can't sell flavoured e-liquid no more. All of a sudden, they're taking them back away and you can carry on doing whatever you was doing 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but in certain places in the States, they've not just banned flavoured e-liquid, they've banned they've banned it totally. Like, there's still fucking cigarettes on the fucking shelf, and they ban vaping. Like, you know what I mean? Just looking at it from an outsider's point of view, it just looked fucking corrupt. How the fuck can you still buy something that we're told day in, day out that gives you fucking cancer and kills you, but vaping gets taken off the shelf? It's
going down the political route if we carried on with this, to be honest. So it's probably best if I don't. But there is a seminar that took place at the show, which explains why America is the way it is and why they're like they are with tobacco.
I've seen that video.
I'm sure the video's up on the Vapor Expo blogs page, so if you want to have a watch through it.
I've seen that
and you get a good idea as to why tobacco is, I don't want to say sort of backed by America, but a lot more favoured than vaping.
I know it. I have seen that video. Right. So the next question is: so we've done what do we take for granted? The next one is going to be what do you value the most in vaping? So we've done what do we take for granted, but what do we also value in vaping? I'll start this one. I value the community, the people I've met the most. What? I took yours. That's why I fucking wanted to put you two on your toes. Yeah, community, 100%. That's what I value the most is community. Is friends I've made, past and present. Yeah, I can't knock that at all. I think that's the main thing for a lot of people is that we value most is the actual people we would have never met if it wasn't due to being a vaping. That one's mine.
I met some really good friends through vaping. I met some fucking pricks too. Like, I suppose that's just life, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, they come in swarms, don't they? But yeah, I mean, you're 100%. You're right there. I mean, it can be a lot. It can be a lot nicer sometimes than it is others.
Yeah, agreed.
What do I value?
If like, okay, then I'll word it differently. Then Adam, if you couldn't live without one thing that was vaping, what would it be? Obviously, you've got your devices, you've got your juice, you've got everything else. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say I'm going to take this off you, but if you had to say, I always need that one thing, what would it be?
My phone? I don't even know, you know. Like, I don't think. I mean, if you take away a device, I'm the same as you, lot, right? We've gone past the stage of just being vapors. We're like hobbyists. So
yeah,
like, you got plenty.
Is that what you
more.
most value? That maybe that's what you most value. Then maybe it is the hobby side of it.
I don't know, because I think mods are a funny thing. Like, when you got it, you use it and you use it for months, and then the next thing comes out and you use that, and then you kind of forget you have that, and then you move on. Like, do you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you mention a box, you're like, fucking hell, and then you bring that back out and you use it again for a couple of months. It's a strange one with mods. I really don't know. I mean, there's so much choice out there now that I don't think there is one thing you can take off. I mean, even down to if you say, right, you can't build no more, you can't use a tube. There's other things now that you can say, well, I'll just do that then. Do you know what I mean? Like with the mouth, the lung, and the sub-home. You go back to sub-homing. I mean, even using I mean, you can use an RDA on a regulated mod if you miss the flavour. I mean, that's still building. But you know what I mean?
Yeah,
there's so many different ways and different things out there. I don't think there's one position. I mean, there's things that I would hate never to be able to use a tube again. Like I would hate it. But I don't think it'd stop me from vaping, because I think if I stopped vaping, I'd probably be all right for 2 months, and then I'd probably go and buy a packet of fags. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's what our brains are programmed to do, isn't it?
It's that hand movement in it. It's still it would still be there because we're still doing it with vaping.
So that's a good value, though, isn't it? Is how many lives vaping has actually changed and saved. Like we don't look at it, but like you look at it, every single vapor. Well, not every single vapor, but 80% of the vapors you see out on the street were either smokers or would have gone into smoking if it weren't for vaping. And then you look at the amount of deaths caused by smoking. All of a sudden, all those people walking around vaping, they're not in that same category as they would have been 6-12 months ago when they were smoking rather than vaping.
Yeah, I do love going
past and realize how many people there is there, how many people there is within our community vaping, just how big it is.
Yeah, and it's only getting bigger as well. Like I do love when it be big. I hate London, but I go out there quite a lot for different reasons. And the old smoker shelters and shit like that you see are just full of vapors. Like, they're just full of vapors now, and it just makes you smile. And it just shows them like everyone's doing it. Like you got to get on it. But every single one of those person didn't just turn around one morning and go, "I'm going to go and buy a vape." You know what I mean? They've been spoken to by somebody that's even give up smoking through vaping, or just read about it, read up on it, and seen YouTube. I mean, YouTube was a big help for me from the start from vaping.
I think that helped a lot of people, Adam, as well. I believe it has helped quite a lot of people. It is definitely a good media outlet where you could grab the information from. It's not just obviously like word of mouth. I feel like these days everyone's got an opinion. Everyone is a reviewer. But I feel like back in the days, 2-3 years ago, 4 years ago, even further back, whatever a reviewer said was, if it was good or fucking not, it really meant it was fucking good or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
What about you, Phil? What do you value, mate?
Like I said, I think just like the aspect of how many lives have been saved. I can't really say I value a mod or I value this or that, because it's not about that for me. It's about the community, and it is about like how the lives have changed. Like I value like every time you see me at a show when I'm up on that entrance stage and I see all those people and they're all it's a variety. You might not see it from down like in the crowd, but you go up on that stage and you can see there's an old Mr. and Mrs. Smith, there's young lads with tattoos, there's couples, there's this, there's that. And it's like all these people get together. They would never get together in a normal environment. You wouldn't see them in a together, but they get together and they all walk around this show. They all have a good time. You never really get any grief. And it's like, it just works really well. And it's just like, it's such a good feeling when you're up there and you can see it.
Yeah. Because you can see it obviously from a different environment. You know what I mean? You see it, you know what I mean? When you're up there and you see all them people excited, because it is excitement. Do you know what I mean? People are excited about coming into the show and seeing the show and what's going on and what's new. And yeah, it is definitely, there definitely is a good thing. And Soretta also said in chat, Soretta said she met Wes. Wes is her other half. She met him through vaping. So a lot of people have met like that. You know what I mean? They would have never met each other if they wouldn't have been for vaping, which is, you know, they now got little legs, and you know what I mean, they brought a life into this world, and that's actually quite nice to think actually did bring people together in a different sort of light. So that's quite refreshing. So the next one, this is a think of this one. What is the most creative thing? So this can be anything. What is the most creative product in vaping you've seen and thought, wow, actually that. How did I fucking know that? What apart from that, Philip, what have you seen in vaping and you've gone, actually that's proper and innovative? Wow. Why did I not fucking think of that? What can you say that you've seen and you think, actually that's a wicked idea? This is the thing of this one. This is the thing of this, because we've seen so much movement, so much that I'd say this is a quite a...
Do you know what? For me, it's got to be proper back in the day when the very, very first regulated mods come out and you could adjust your wattage and everything like that. It was like, wow, that's different. Like, because before that, it was literally like you were saying, it was just playing with fire. You either done it right or you didn't, and you were setting yourself on fire.
Yeah.
So I think when the regulated mods first started coming out, that was definitely something that was a bit like, bloody hell, this is getting somewhere.
I like that. And what about you, Adam? What do you think? What's like wowed you?
I'll tell you what did wow me. I mean, I didn't really get much of this expo because I weren't that well. But when I went there and the flash mod brought out them new leads, the thing that goes around your neck, it's one of them, and it turns into a lead, and I was like, "That's the bollocks!" I'm getting one. Bird went, "Just have it." I was like, "Sweet." But yeah, other than that, I can't. I mean, obviously, you see things like when a new mod comes out, you're like, "Yeah, that's well good. That's a good idea." Blah blah blah. And for some people, it'll be from sub-homing because you literally had sub-homing and they've gone back to the mouth to lungs because there was an advancement of the mouth to lungs and now everybody's got both. But it's to me that lead was just a wow moment. That's all. I ain't even used it. That's the worst thing. I ain't even used it.
I think my very first sort of like wow moment in a device was it had to be sort of like the Aspire Atlantis, like the very first sub-ohm tank, when I could literally chuck fucking high top VG liquid tank and just literally turn the watts up and give it a good old fucking chuck.
Yeah,
I think that's the thing. That thing that wowed me. Yeah, that's what wowed me. Don't get me wrong. I feel like it negatively affected the market. Don't get me wrong. I feel like it now. I feel like it negatively affected the market. But back then, when it was first seen, it was very much like this is unheard of. Like literally, I could put a fucking tank up to 50 watts, 30. I think it was 30 back then, and I could chuck a bit in cloud.
Yeah. Alpha 3 as well. Nicky just messaged me. He said Alpha 3. He said, "Oh, yeah, that was quite a good moment." And all you think that's a good idea, but
and then you realise you've been using one all your fucking life, opening up bottles.
Yeah. And the thing is, I put my Alpha 3 up there, and I still rather just go because he says yeah. Right? And even if you get half a nick shot in your mouth, you're like, well, you just get over it, don't you?
So that I'll call this shop up. I'm like, right, Mel, I'm popping down. I'm gonna be grabbing this juice. Can you nick it for me? Come down. There. Fuck's it. Fucking. I'm all happy, mate. I'll come in. My bottle's ready. I'll just give it a shake. I'm done.
Lucky you. Neil Pugsley said, Atlanta 0.4 coil, 30 watts. We thought clouds were the best. Atlantis was boss back in the day, 100%. It was different. The Vamo mod was a little bit of a game changer. That's when sort of watts came into it. Yeah, as Adam said earlier, and Phil said earlier about different wattages and being able to chase that watts, and that's when sort of the watts came into place where everybody was just trying to get the most fucking watts out of an 18650 battery. That's definitely a good thing to think about. Right, this also is a thinker as well. If you could change one thing in vaping you regret, what would it be?
Ooh.
I don't know.
This one's a tough one because this can be a personal journey, or this can be a decision made in I'll kick it off. My biggest, not regret, but I enjoyed it at the time, and if I feel like if the scene was the same as it was years ago, I'd love to go back to it. But my biggest regret was sort of giving up the reviews. But what the reviews did was different for me is when I stopped doing reviews, it opened up my aspects in the industry. Because at the time, not really many reviewers would be taken on, because obviously conflict of interest. And I still agree to it to this day that a lot of people who are sponsored by companies who are then reviewers, big reviewers, we're not talking people who just do it for a laugh and do you know what I mean? That's totally different. For me personally, there's people out there on Facebook like Adam does, as Adam has done it in the past, reviewed products and stuff, and I think it's mint because you give. If you said some shit, you said some shit. But I feel like if you're like maybe paid by a company or affiliated with a company, and all you do is give them good reviews, it's kind of a bit of an issue for me personally, because I don't know who to believe.
By a company, you're not going to give them a shit review, are you?
Exactly.
I don't think I've ever reviewed any endless products.
You haven't, no?
No.
If you want to send me a couple mods over, I'll review them for you, Tom.
That for me that's not my biggest regret, because it opened up such a different opportunity for me to work in the industry. But if I could go back to it, and you say that again.
Something you miss.
It's not. I don't miss it, Adam, as such. I just feel like when we was reviewing, obviously you go back to like the Safer Vapor days when I was reviewing. That channel's like 6 years old now, and it was. Reviewers were passionate about products, and products were coming out week in, week out, and people were buying products. Nobody was getting them sent. It was buying products to review.
The mad thing is, though, like when you're doing reviews now, like every cunt's live on 30 different fucking groups at every moment, like, so you can't put in more than fucking 30 viewers unless you're giving away 20 grand's worth of free shit, like. And this is, but. It's the way it's become. It's become like that, and I don't see it changing for a long time, because it ain't just the reviewers that are at fault. It's the people that are giving them the fucking free shit to review as well.
In the first place, yeah.
Right? Because I mean, I've had people saying, "I'm going to send you this, but this is what I want you to say." I was like, "Go fuck yourself!" Like, if you give me a review to do, I'm going to do a review. Like, if you want me to do a review, it's going to be an honest review. It's simple as that. And you ain't going to give me a fucking piece of card saying this is what you're going to say.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a script kind of.
There is more and more reviewers coming into the market every year, though. I mean, don't forget that I organise all the reviewers for the show. So I have to have a look at every single one, sort of vouch for each one before I send them their press codes. And like each show, I'll get like 20, 30 new reviewers. Like some shows, I'll get more than that. And you see them, and they're literally just like they've put one video on YouTube, but they've got like 2,000 followers on Instagram. They're following 10,000 people. They've got 2,000 followers on Instagram, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll do a lot of it on Instagram." You go on Instagram, and it's just basically like they've got free shit, and they're just saying, "Yeah, it's nice." Don't get me wrong; like a lot of those people that come on board new do actually know what they're doing, and they're doing it properly. But some of them do just try it on. And they class themselves as a reviewer.
I feel like it's not a passion. I feel like it's not a passion. I feel like, and I'm not saying this for everybody, because not everybody's like that. I'm saying in the chat, everybody loves free shit, regardless what it is. Whether you go to Tesco's and stuff, got fucking buns cut up for you to try. People like free shit. I get that. I get it. But for me personally, there's no passion, there's no excitement to it. Do you know what I mean? Because if you was excited about a product, you'd happily go out and buy it.
It's very repetitive.
I'm going to work to get it.
Everybody says exactly the same about the same fucking juices, and they say, like, the way I look at a good juice is if it is what it is on the label. Like, if this is a strawberry and you taste fucking strawberry, then it's a good juice. But if you don't like strawberry, that don't mean it's a fucking bad juice. That just means it ain't your taste.
That's why I don't agree into juice reviews. I don't believe in juice reviews at all, and that's just my personal opinion. The reason I don't believe in it is because I like a flavour doesn't mean the 10,000 people that's watching me on a video think like that flavour.
But if 10,000 people watch the video and they know what you like and what you don't like, then it's an honest review, because you can say this is my opinion. Yeah. You know what I mean? And opinions matter. Of course they matter, because if me and you have got the same taste and you say this mod is the bollocks for what me and you like, do you know what I mean? Then I'm going to go, well, fucking, I've got to try it, haven't I? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I think, you've got to sort of be on the same level of vaping the same as the person giving that opinion, definitely. And if you don't like custards, and I turn around and say it's the best fucking custard out there, and you don't like custards, why the fuck are you gonna try it? Because if you don't like custards, you're not gonna like this one. You're not gonna like any of them.
Yeah.
To be fair though, like going back to the juice actually tasting like the label, that really baffles me when companies come up with this weird, funky ass name. Some of them are cool, like, don't get me wrong, like everyone loves a bit of fucking rainbow candy, unicorn, fucking summer and other. But
there's no flavour cards neither. And you're like, what the fuck?
If I'm walking through the shop, I'm looking at it, and the juice is called. I mean, I don't even want to say something because everything I say, there's going to be a juice out there. I don't know if there is anything, but say something's called Venom, for example. You walk in and it's Venom by whatever company. How the fuck are you supposed to know what that tastes like?
Yeah.
I get that. One thing if you got a flavour card next to it, but like some shops don't keep flavour cards, don't do this, don't do that. You walk into a shop, you want to look at a label, go, strawberry custard. That's going to be a strawberry custard. Blackcurrant menthol. It's going to be blackcurrant menthol.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like when the juices was 25 quid for 30 ml, you could go and have a look at them, but someone had a review of it, and maybe they do it like that. But like you say, you don't know whether the review is going to be true or not.
Yeah.
It's it swings and roundabouts really. There's pros and cons to it all, but I think that's just the way the industry's gone, and I don't see it turning it back. Because overnight there could be another 5-6 juice companies, like you say, with white labelling.
Colin Phillipson says, generally people will buy whatever the person in the shop are using. I kind of agree with that to a certain extent. I do agree to that. But if someone in the shop is using the mouth to lung and someone is a sub-armor, they're not necessarily going to go to something that's a mouth to lung product. So it really depends on your style of vaping, because I know for a fact, like our shop, Shady Vaping, is very much a mouth to lung kind of shop. We have our sub-arming customers. We obviously are the home of endless mods, but we have our sub-arming customers. But we'd never. I don't feel like if one of our staff was stood in there with a mouth to lung, and the person came in with a back smock alien tank. This is just me saying, or a Valkyrie tank, and said, "Oh, what new have you got?" I don't think they would say, "Here's some Nick salts and a pod." Do you know what I mean? I feel it's very much particular to what the is. Then I don't know if there's any shops out there, but I know our shop don't do it. I don't know, we don't have fucking mods for every different customer that comes in. So we need mouth to lung when a mouth to lung customer's in, or a fucking sub-arming. It's not happens. So I agree with it to a certain extent, but to a certain extent, I'm very much like it's horses for courses. Very much horses for courses. David Johnson, I'll get back to you after the show, bud, and I'll drop you a message, mate. Venomy liquid is a real thing.
Before I try and get sued by this company, I was trying to say snake venom. I was referring to
You've got a vendetta, really, haven't you?
Green donkey dragon venom. That's what I was on about.
You know that's going to be one of their flavours, don't you?
Let's before I get a letter from court.
If not, they're dropping it tomorrow. That's coming out tomorrow.
I'm gonna go and trademark it right now.
Right, so I'll take that question to you boys as well. So I'll change the question a little bit. If you could change anything in vaping, what would it be? Rather than what you regret, if you could change anything in vaping, what would it be?
The regs.
Just
I'd
the
make it more
regulations.
difficult. Yeah, I'd make it more difficult for those companies who are punching juice out left, right, and centre, staring at kitchen bottles, kitchen spoons, kitchen bottles. Literally just making it out of their sheds, selling it off at 80p a bottle. I'd just try and get rid of them. I'd put in, so you got to have like a non-clean room or something, and basically just keep everyone who's doing it properly in the business, and try and take out these people who are just coming in for a quick sort of get rich quick scheme. There is some people out there who thinking, yeah, I can come in, I can make bottles. They're going to cost me 70p a bottle. I'll sell them for 80p a bottle. But I sell 10,000 of them.
Yeah.
And before you know it, well, there's shit going around everywhere.
I like that one. What about you, Adam? What would you change in vaping?
The only thing that really, I mean, business side of it, looking at the business side of it like that, I suppose the only thing that's ever really bothered me was like the Chinese companies and like the fact that they'd bring out the mods day after day, and you get these independent shops that are struggling anyway. So they've bought 20 of these mods in, and then the next week they've got a later version, the latest version, and they were just bringing them out too quick. So then they're stuck with old stock, and I've always thought that was a bit shitty. But I mean, the bigger ones like Smok seem to have calmed down now. And with a lot of mouth to lungs, the devices are a lot cheaper, I find as well. So
things have become a lot more affordable, definitely.
I get rid of that leaky Smok tank.
Yeah, that was it. I mean, the thing that always gave me like I had a right bugbear against was the fucking Alien, because that was the same mod for about God knows how many years, and they just bringing out new colours, and everybody wanted 4 years it ran for. So. And everybody wanted.
They released 4 or 5 different mods just with the same tank.
Yeah, it's mad.
Tank smaller or bigger or whatever. Yeah. It was the same fucking tank.
I had them all. At that point, I was sub-homing, so I had the baby beast, the big baby beast, the fucking TFV8, the TFV12.
Did all of them leak? Did all of them leak?
Yeah, of course they did. It leaked in your bag, it leaked in your pocket, and no matter what you did, you find yourself wrapping it up in fucking tissue to put it in your bag.
I remember doing that. With every TFV I had.
Yeah.
Right. Next question.
Yeah, sorry. Go on.
What's no? Go on. I'm gone.
Yeah, I was just saying that was the only thing that ever like bugged me about like the business side of it. Anyway, everything else that I'd change is probably he's just. I mean, the community side of it. It's just like we're saying, the community side of it, when it's good, but when it's bad, it's fucking shit. Other than that, like, but that isn't like the way you look at it. If you're looking at it from a different point of view, like, if I owned a shop, I wouldn't give a fuck about the community side of it. Do you know what I mean? It's what it is.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. So the next question: if you could go back and do anything differently, so we're going back to when we first started vaping, or before we'll go back to before we started vaping. If you could go back and do anything differently, what would it be and why?
I'd persuade Arsenal not to sack Arsene Wenger. Because he's gone, was fucked right up.
It's all right, mate. David Moyes is coming in soon.
If we tangenting like that, I've got to think what's going on. I wouldn't sell freaking £6 worth of fishing gear for 800 quid.
We could have had the lottery numbers or anything. We've chosen this product.
If I could go back,
we won the lottery. You could go fishing every day and leave your gear behind.
Mate, the way I was feeling that weekend just gone, was having a conversation with one of my mates, and we was literally like, "What would you do if you won the lotto?" I went, like, we both turned around and said, "We just leave the shit there, pack up, and go and have a full English breakfast somewhere." That was the answer in the morning. We just can leave it all there and go and have a fucking full blown meal.
Yeah. Oh, don't. What would you change then, Tom?
What, in anything?
Yeah, in anything. No, well, just like other than the business side of it. Then, what would you change?
Vaping? Are we talking vaping or anything? We're talking vaping, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, vaping. Oh my god. He's going back all the mistakes he's ever fucking made.
Well,
it was just one time.
Yeah, it was this one time, actually. If I could go back and change anything in vaping, honestly, I would, and this is going to sound shit to a lot of people because that was their easy
You've
way.
got
of
us all on
getting
fucking hooks now, and he's going to be pony, isn't he?
No, if I could change anything to do with vaping and go back to where he started in vaping, I would stop clouds in a box. I would 100% stop cloud in the box. That is the God's honest truth.
But
And the reason
do you not think stopping that would stop a lot of people from vaping?
I feel like it would, but I feel like everybody would have a different respect. I honestly, 100%, hand on heart, believe a lot of people don't respect vaping to what it is today. I really don't. I don't. I feel like it's so easy to be a vapor. Like, I understand going to the shop and buying a pack of fags and sticking a lighter in front of it is fucking easier. But to respect vaping of what it's actually done for a lot of people financially, it's created jobs for people, put years onto people's lives.
Yeah.
It's created relationships and friendships. You know, the matter of things I ain't got enough hands or fucking toes to say what vaping has actually done for a lot of people.
As much as I 110% think you're right for people like us that are quite active on social media and stuff, and we go to the events. But I'm thinking like 90% of like shop customers have got to be people like my mum, who don't got Facebook, who don't give a shit about fucking tubes. Do you know what I mean? Who just literally want to, like, she gave up smoking 4 years ago and she nicks all my vapes, but she don't know what she's doing with half of them. I have to sit down and show her. But all my sub-homes and that, they're all clouds in the bottom. It's just, I mean, as much as I think you're right for people like us, I think if you go from being a vapor to a hobbyist, you should know how to build, and you should have the ultimate respect for it, like you say. I just feel that, like, you know, when you get old people going into a shop, they're just like, I don't give a shit about Facebook. Fuck Facebook.
No, I get that, and that's a really, really valid point, because the cloud in a box thing obviously opened up a lot of vaping experiences for a lot of different people. It wasn't just sort of people who was avid into vaping. So I agree with that 100%. Maybe I've not articulated it very well. Maybe the fact is that vaping doesn't have the respect it deserves.
Yeah. I mean, it must have been a big slog to having to do that, get up and having to fucking put your atty on and just basically use a basic tune. It must be like a kick in the bollocks.
It's just like for me, it's like a learning curve. You know, I'd like everybody to go back and learn, if you know what I mean. Like, obviously, we live in a busy world that doesn't ever fucking stop. We're always wanting the ease of life. You know what I mean? Fuck me, we can order our on fucking line. You know, life is easy in that aspect of things. I just feel like if you're into vaping or you want to know about vaping, if you buy a new mobile phone, whether you're fucking 16 or fucking 96, before you buy any sort of appliances, you always ask, or you always research, or you find out the information. I feel like that's not done in vaping. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like the aspect of doing your research product, understanding the product before you purchase your product, because you've got to remember, at the end of the day, this is people's hard-earned cash. Do you know what I mean? It's not like it's just, we're just getting it. So I would never invest in a new fucking telly or invest in a new phone unless I did my research on it. So that's my sort of side of it. Maybe that's just me being a fucking
going to your local petrol station, independent petrol station, and buying some 888 juice or something for a pound. Mad, isn't it? It's mad that people could do that now. Like,
Daddy's asked. Oh, pardon me, lads. He's asked what I played in the box. It's basically just straight off the shelf.
A sub-home, yeah.
Yeah, how'd you explain it? It's literally, you get it back home, you put it together, and you're ready to go.
Just a tank. Turn it on.
It's like Meccano. It's like Meccano. You just put it together. Yeah. That's it. It works. You put it together. You don't have to do anything funny with it.
One of them.
Yeah. Something you can literally just pour juice into.
This little device goes up to 40 watts. That's mad, isn't it? You never think you'd get 40 watts out of something like that, would you?
Nah, never in a million years. Soretta says, I completely agree, Tom. it can be taken advantage of, and a lot of people don't appreciate how much work has gone into being able to make it as accessible as it is today. Yeah, that's definitely the way I would have said it. It's easy. Vaping is very easy.
Would you get all these 60, 70, 80-year-olds doing what you're on about if they couldn't get a kit straight off the shelf, literally take that out, pop it in, leak everywhere?
No, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, Phil. I do get it. But
I think your point of view as well. I'm just trying to approach it from a different point of view. That's all.
Yeah, but you also have to, what I'm also thinking in the back of my head is you also have to appreciate the fact if a 60, 70, 80-year-old isn't buying online, they're going into a shop, right? So what if the person behind the counter is selling them a fucking 150-watt kit to blow fucking clouds when they're a fucking 40 to 60-day fucking smoker at 60, 70, 80-year-old? Whose fucking problem's that? That's the shops for not knowing what the fuck they should be selling. Yeah. Or just wanting that quick buck. Oh, Shirley down street who's not going to come in ever again. She's going to get this kit. I'm just going to get my 70 quid out of her, and off she fucking toddles. There's her fucking pension in my till. Do you know what I mean? That's where I'm sort of thinking the respect is not just respect from the aspect of vaping itself, but actually the people who are serving people that have no idea what vaping is. Maybe that's the respect as well.
Yeah.
It's not just a cash cow.
I can go in my local sweet shop that sell like a smock device that's 3 times how much of what it would be in a normal vape shop, and they would sell it to anyone. They don't know how it works. Like you get hairdressers around here that are vape shops as well, and all sorts. People are just setting up a vape corner in every single shop. Because it's their right place. Because there's no regulation. You can't. No one's saying you have to sell under these environment. It's no one's dictating to, like with cigarettes they have to be like as much as they're classed as cigarettes. I don't know why they're still classed as a tobacco product. It boggles my mind. But if you go into like Tesco, all their tobacco products have to be behind shutters, but yet they can still put the vape bottles in perfect view of everyone. So surely that's them saying it's not a tobacco product or not. Or I don't know.
I agree with that, Adam, 100%, because they are on show in corner shops and everything. Vaping stuff is on show, and that's 100%. I do agree with that wholeheartedly. But once again, it's exactly what you said about they don't even understand it.
No, they don't.
It's just there. It's just there. Do you know what I mean? There's one person I know who works in a convenience store who is a vapor, and I don't know which retail. I don't want to say the retail outlet she works for, but I know Claire Weston works retail outlet like a supermarket, and they sell vaping shit. And I think she works behind that counter and knows exactly what she's fucking talking about. And but they don't put people into place to actually work on a convenience counter that's also sells tobacco that knows fuck all about vaping. Because let's be realistic, nobody knows fuck all about tobacco. You're not going to go in and go, oh, what's your richest blend then? You know what I mean? If you're not a smoker, you don't have a fucking clue, do you?
Yeah, can I have I'll have a different light. I'll have a windproof light this time, please.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Is that? Can you just test that one before I take it? You know what I mean? Just test it, make sure it lights up properly. You know what I mean?
When it Colin, in 2 days' time, they won't give a fuck. Like mods, they just bring back, don't they?
Exactly.
Yeah, I've just used it for a game of football, and now it's not working.
True. Colin says too many shops care about taking the money. It's wrong. I had a guy coming into my shop with an Aegis and a Mesh Pro he had just bought, didn't have a clue what to do with it. After talking to him, he was a 40 to 60 day smoker, recommended something like a pod system with Nick Salt. It is 100% down to the person behind the counter. Soretta also said 100%. I pride myself someone set up with something that's going to work for them and keeping them coming back, telling me how well it's worked. How it's worked for them to keep the habit, not to get the biggest sale I can out of a person. I find the last few years that isn't the case when you walk into shops. It's not. But also, on speaking on the business side of things, and a lot of people who run shops should know this, but I'd rather sell somebody a £30 kit and then come week and buy their 10ml bottle of juice and a coil and do that every week than just take 70 quid off them. On a business scale of things.
Repeat custom is what keeps shops afloat nowadays, isn't it?
100%. And rather than going, I'll just take the 70 quid sale, that's me done. I'll never see him again because they'll go into another shop and they'll get told it's absolute trash.
Well, they'll probably sneak in the fucking bin and go and buy a packet of fags, won't they?
Yeah. I'm very much about the fact is that even on a business side, but it's not just business side of things. If you get somebody off smoking and get them vaping, and you get them vaping full time, they will be the loyalist customers ever.
Yeah, because they know you're truthful. That's what it is. Like, you sit down with someone and you talk them through their options, and there are plenty of other options out there nowadays. Like, and it's all about moving forward. From if you want to, people start on their little pen mouth to lungs, and then they go up and you go, "Well, try this, try this." Yeah, I mean, it's plenty of options. So if you talk them through it, and then they find their own feet, and that's good luck to them.
It's a lot easier to try and get someone from a smoker to then a vapor to then a hobbyist vapor than it is to get someone from smoking straight to this hobbyist vapor side of things, where you go in and you're buying expensive kits and you've got, bespoke mods and whatnot, and you're paying like silly money for it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, when they first start vaping, they vape to give up. So they vape to give up smoking. They vape to give up vaping. Do you know what I mean? That makes sense in the long run. And then the hobby side of it just happens accidentally when you look at your shelf and you've got 42 fucking mods sitting there, and then you've got a build kit coming in. You're like, fucking hell, now I've got to learn to build. And it's all right. And then it's a progression, isn't it?
100%. I agree to a certain extent with Neil Pugsley. Neil Pugsley said it's like Argos selling vape gear. They know fuck all. I get that, but there's shops out there that also know fuck all and still run a vape shop.
Yeah, but everyone knows what you get with Argos. You order from a catalogue, you type in a number and you pick it up. Like they also sell kitchen knives, so they don't promote 15-year-olds stabbing each other. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, Neil's probably one of the most knowledgeable people I know about vaping. Like, it's his life. Fucking, I've never seen anything like it. But yeah, I mean, what he's saying is right, same as anywhere. But when there's money to be made, these big companies are going to pick up on it and they're going to start selling goods, no matter what the fuck it is.
You're damn right. So what would you boys do different? Phil, what would you do different?
What was the question again?
Yeah, this is the question. The question was, if you could go back and do anything different, what would it be and why?
I wouldn't have trusted that fart 2 weeks ago.
No, like we've discussed, I think everything we've mentioned is exactly what I think. I don't think anything we've mentioned really is...
Cool. As long as we're on agreement, I'm happy with that. On this serious question, before I get into the funny questions, is biggest highlight in vaping. It can be business or personal, so you can say whether it's business or personal. So I want two stories. So biggest highlight in vaping.
Probably for me, like I'd say 5 really good friends through vaping that I'd call family. That's probably one of them. And obviously, being sponsored by Endless and the team captain in as well. It's a good thing for me. Something I worked hard towards, but I didn't do it specifically for that. It just fell into my lap.
Definitely, 100%. Philip, Adam did a nice one, so let's have a fucking few nice ones, Philip.
Business-wise,
yeah, the biggest high.
I think just when I got trusted with it's a highlight, and it's not a highlight at the same time because it's a lot of fucking work.
He's gonna go on about
It's
them
highlight.
fucking banners again, isn't he? He's gonna go on about
If you know Lee, he's very particular about everything, and he always needs to double check everything and triple check. And like when I first started working for the expo, I used to like do something, and then he used to make me do it like 3 or 4 times after till he was happy. And oh god, I don't even want to know when now. A year and a half ago, 2 years max, he sort of got to a level where I got trusted with everything. So he basically just put me in charge of all the graphics and marketing department. And since then, I've been able to just go and design stuff, and most of the time just order it without even asking for approval. And it's like it's sort of like an accomplishment for me because of how much of a challenge it was when I first started working for the company. So I think that's going to be like a business highlight, and seeing it all happen when I do it all myself and I've not been guided through anything, and Lee's not been there to say, oh, change this, change that, and I've sort of done it myself. And then I see it hanging up on a 6 meter wide banner at the show. It's a real good feeling.
Yeah, it's gonna be. That's a proper G up, isn't it? If you come in and that's the first thing you see. Yeah, I'd love that.
Personal, I think it's going to be quite a lot like Adams. It's basically meeting brothers from other mothers and sisters from other misters.
Yeah,
you know, I've met people on there who I talk to every day, like yourself. Like I can talk to you every day, and I don't get bored. I'm quite easily bored by people. People bore me quite easily, and I can't keep a conversation going. Whereas, like with you, I don't get that, and I've met other people who are just really great people, and again, it's that community side of things.
Definitely.
Go on, Tom.
Mine, highlighting vaping, and so I'm going to start with personal. So I have to echo everything you boys have said regarding people we've met and people that have crossed our paths. Corny as fuck, and he's not here, but I'm going to say it. It's corny as fuck, but so what? Paul, me and him didn't really like. Not I wouldn't say we didn't see eye to eye, but when the first time I ever met him, and he's told this story a million times because he always slags me off about it. When I first ever met Paul, it was in his own shop, and I didn't speak to him because I didn't know how to take Paul. A lot of people who know Paul, you either love him or hate him. He's understood bloke. He's fucking a gent, absolute gent. Person, that's my personal opinion. Now, everybody else wants to say anything negative about him, go ahead, because Paul does not give a fuck. But my personal opinion is an absolute gent. And from the first time me and Paul ever spoke properly, I still own the hoodie to this day, and I've probably mentioned it before, but I still own this hoodie today. And this hoodie is, I want to say, 4.5 years old, 5 years old. And Paul and I commented in there saying, I've heard you're doing an export, a t-shirt that says, my adopted father with an arrow. And Paul rocked up with a hoodie that said, my adopted father, endless logo, Big Tom on the back. I wasn't working for Paul at the time. And we had a photo and we got on like a house on fire. So to have somebody like Paul, who's a true speaking, down to earth, fucking hardworking man in my life is a massive thing. Yes, sounds cheesy. Yes, sounds corny, but fuck it, I'm saying it.
Well, it is what it is, isn't it? You question, you've got an answer. That's right.
And business-wise is the opportunities that I've had working in the industry. I've been working in the industry now for, this is my 6th year working in the industry. I'm going to be working for Paul in January for 3 years. January the 3rd or the 4th. I've been working for Paul for 3 years. Yeah.
Gosh, I don't even remember when I started.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing is working in the industry, is going from a hobby that I absolutely love to an industry that changed my world. Absolutely changed my world. We've all come embedded in this industry, whether we like it or not. To a certain extent, we've all come embedded in this industry, and it does lie heavy with me because it has changed my life and the people I've met, and so that's definitely a massive one for me. is the biggest highlight. It's changed my life. It really has changed my life. So that's it. So we're gonna go on to some fucking funny questions now. Let's get out of our emotions, get out of our feelings, and let's go to some fucking funny questions. Let me just read the chat before we go into the funny questions. Who trusted Phil with everything? Mental. Right, let's get into the funny questions. Right, so the first question, Adam, it's going to you, and then Phil after. What would you name your boat if you had one?
Boat. I don't know. Like, a boat, I think it's got to be something pretty personal. So probably Elsie after my daughter. It ain't funny.
No, that's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
What?
Huh?
Phil, if you had a boat, what would you call it? Come on, Phil.
Don't know.
I'll start. I'll have to go after what they would call the. Remember, I don't know if you ever saw it in the news when they called that boat Boaty McBoatface. I think I would have to name my boat after Boaty McBoatface.
Yeah, they didn't call it that in the end, though, did they?
No, they changed it.
They put a vote up who's to name the boat, and they changed it, didn't they?
Yep, absolute cunt.
I'd name my boat Leah.
You two soppy fuckers.
I'll drink at the other one.
Right, the next question is going to be, what is the most useless talent you have? Adam, we're starting with you, mate.
I could do that in the farm.
Oh, that's nasty!
I could do it with both of them, look.
Oh!
I'm all double jointed.
Oh, shit. That's
yeah. Comes in handy sometimes, but he's pretty useless.
I don't want to know when it comes in handy.
No, you don't.
I really don't want to know when it comes in handy. Phil, what's yours?
And you know what the thing is? My daughter's got the same thumbs. My missus is going mad about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, swear to God, yeah.
Phil, what's yours? Most
I'd like to say singing, but I'm shit at singing. I don't know. Fishing, because it doesn't benefit my life in any way, shape, or form.
That's not a useless talent.
Well, it is in a way. I'm not actually physically good at it. I just have a skill set of where I can go fishing, and I'm just lucky enough to always catch fish. But it costs me money for the bait. It costs me money for the tackle. It costs me to get there. Half the time my car breaks on the way there, and I never make any money off it. So theoretically speaking, it is kind of useless. The only useful thing about it is I really enjoy my time while I'm there.
I'm just thinking to myself, I've asked this question. I've got a useless fucking talent. I really fucking don't. I can burp the alphabet. Right.
We'd be fucked on that talent show, wouldn't we, on the telly?
Proper
fucked. Talent.
Absolutely fucked.
Yeah. We'd be all right. We just went on there and blow clouds, though.
A few people go on talent shows, aren't they? Like in the States, to go on and fucking do tricks and shit like that. I've seen a few videos.
I've seen one in China that was sick. Some kid was on the stage. He was doing some fucking sick tricks. Yeah, I don't know whether it was in China, but he was Chinese. I don't know whether that's racist or not.
Right. Question is going to be, this is also can be a vape. This is actually a vaping question. What's the best and worst purchases you've ever made? It can be vaping or it can be anything else.
Drag nanny. What was Nano? What was I thinking? Like, it looked the bollocks, and then I got it, and it was the worst thing ever. That was the worst.
What was the best?
Probably my first ever endless, which was my dirty.
Very
A
first.
dirt,
And
and that was my first like authentic tube as well. I had one clone before that. Like I pretty much had a baptism of fire when I come into vaping. I literally went from 3 mods to building, and then I was away, and then I've never looked back.
that's good though, because that shows your character yourself of you wanting to learn and you wanting to try.
Yeah,
That's actually quite a good character.
Overnight, I must have watched about 20 YouTube videos of how to do it, and then that was it. The next morning, I was away. But yeah.
What about you, Phil? Bivvy slippers.
Fair, mate, it's going to be a cheesy one. But my best purchase has got to be my holiday to Dubai and the engagement ring I got for Leah.
Nice.
Because of how happy that girl was for that whole week, mate. It was ridiculous.
It's a vaping question.
It can be a
Don't get me in trouble here, Phil.
It can be. It doesn't have to be.
Oh, okay.
And my worst, completely off subject again, but it's got to be my black Audi S3 I had before this red one. That car owed me £8,000 in modifications, which I lost, and it cost me £75 a week in fuel, which was an average of 8 miles to the gallon.
And how much was the new gearbox in this one?
In this one?
You got the gearbox back.
Well, this one, it's under warranty, so it didn't cost me anything.
Oh, fucking sweet.
So it's a win-win. But then again, this one's shit as well because it's only a free door and I can't get anything in it. I impulse buy. I just see the car I like. I'll go and buy it, and then my other car will sit on the drive for 8 months before I sell it. I had 3 cars on the drive at one point, and I didn't know which one to keep.
Adam, I'm going to get him to send you a picture of his car when he packs it for fishing, mate. Okay, yeah.
Mate, I can't see anything out the rear view mirror, the left mirror, or the right mirror. I normally have stuff piled on the passenger seat, and then I'm carrying like a crate of bud or something on my knee.
Well, you got to look after the crucial stuff, haven't you?
Yeah.
Damn right. You're damn right. Right.
You've got to fight a bud in the passenger seatbelt on.
No, that's his fucking slippers, mate. That's not his booze. It's his slippers. Don't give it that.
Oh, mate, I won't be able to go fishing without my slippers.
Yeah, I know. What's your worst and best then, Tom?
Worst and best purchases in vaping.
Just in general?
In general, worst purchases. I'm going to be honest and I'm going to say my worst ever purchase was probably an iPad. That is the God's honest truth. Probably an iPad. It's one of them gadgets that you use for a week and then go fuck that and go back to your computer.
Well, is it while you're out fishing and watching Netflix?
It's the worst purchase. That's probably one of my worst purchases. My best purchase. That's a toughie. My favourite purchase, and this is going to sound cringy as fuck as well, is I bought Poppy a tracksuit before she was born, and it sounds so cliche, but bought her an Adidas tracksuit. It cost me 50 fucking squid for a fucking 2 to 3 month old fucking tracksuit. She wore it once and it went in the fucking bin. Yes, bad purchase. Could be classed as a bad, but she looks so cute in it. So that's probably one of my favourite, like one of my pictures.
Yeah, I like
so
that.
yeah, probably the tracksuit for Poppy. Right, next question. Next question is, if you could change your name, what would your new name be? And would you choose, and why would you choose that name?
Handsome, for obvious reasons.
Phil, change it. What's your name?
Phil. But I'm Phil with a P8, so every fucker spells it right.
You could be called the same as your boat, Tom. Boat in my boat face.
No, I think if I wanted to change my name, I think I would actually legally change it to Big Tom. I honestly
That'd be
would.
cool.
If I could choose my name, I'd legally change.
But you're not so big Tom now. You could change it to not so big Tom.
This is true. Just like fucking not so little fucking Tom, not so
Biggish
little. The biggish. Not so little.
The slightly podgy Tom.
Right, let's go for another one. When did you screw everything up, but no one ever found out it was you? When and you've like at home, maybe at home as a kid, and like you blamed it on someone else. I'll tell you mine. I didn't screw everything up. What I did was I must have been about fucking 7 or 8. And I fucking stood in my grandparents' toilet, in their bathroom, my grandparents' bathroom, and my granddad's razor was on the side. And I fucking thought, I'm going to try to shave my fucking beard. I ain't got a fucking beard. I'm 7 or 8 year old. My face. And my granddad walks through the door and goes, you been shaving? Nah, I got stung by a bee. That's definitely one of my fucking things. Are you shaving? What the fuck have you been shaving for? I had it when a bee flew in and stung me.
Mine was one, but I did get caught for it. But it was like about 10 years later. We just moved into my house that I used to live in, and I must have been 7 years old. And I've just heard about what happens if you put deodorant and lighters together and you get the flamethrower. Right? So I burnt a fucking patch in my brand new carpet. So I was like, what can I do?
No.
So I put a wardrobe there, and that's where it stood for about fucking till I was 15 years old, right? And I've come home from school. It was my last year in school. My mum's digged me. What the fuck? Ain't you grown up yet? What's this under here? She's moved me wardrobe and I've got to dig for it 10 years later.
No way.
Yeah.
That is fucking mint. Right, Adam, was the burning the carpet in the middle of the fucking room when you just blocked the
No, it was at the edge, yeah. But you know what? When I put the wardrobe there, you could just see a little patch of it coming out. But it weren't burnt, it was just off-coloured. You could see, and I was really worried. I was really worried, but I didn't get found out for fucking years. And she did it every day. So she must have, like, what's that? That's what I was thinking. But no, 10 years later, I come back from school and that was it.
That's fucking good. I like that one. Phil, you?
When I was about 13, 14, I left an adult site open on the internet and just minimised the window. For it.
Did you get caught for it?
Yeah.
Got caught wanking.
No, just minimised window of.
I've got one. I've fucking got one. I have got one. I've got a proper one as well. And it's about like what you've just fucking said. Yeah, I've got one.
You played that game where he starts ranking and he shouts his mum and says,
No. Can you ever remember when on X-ray you could watch 10 minutes for free before it fucking kicked into full flow? I'm sure I must have recorded it. I did it. I don't know if I did it on purpose or accident. I honestly can't remember.
Yeah, of course you've done it on purpose.
So I recorded these 10-minute previews for about an hour, right? And next morning, the mum comes, my tape done, because obviously it's VHS at the fucking time. So my mum's like, have we recorded Emmerdale? We're going to watch Emmerdale's press play on fucking TV. 10-minute preview start playing, yeah. I'm like, I ain't fucking do that. I'm sure my dad got in trouble for it. I'm sure my dad got in trouble for it. I'm sure of it. I'm sure my old man got in trouble for it.
Does your mum watch these? Does your mum watch Banter?
She fucking does sometimes, so she might fucking hear this. Yeah, definitely. For that. I'm sure he fucking did. Truthfully,
I'm going to find a link once we go off this. 1 hour and 25 minutes.
The time and everything, the timestamp of when I said it and everything. Just watch the video from this time and listen to what Tom said. I'm honestly sure my old man got in fucking trouble for that. Gospel. Gospel true.
You just imagine, it weren't me. Where the fuck was it then, Tom?
Good one. What quote or saying do people spout, but it's complete bullshit? And I'm going to say, live, laugh, love can fuck right off.
I've always had a problem with people saying defo. Hate it. I can understand it when you're typing it because it's shorter. But saying it is just as much fucking effort as saying definitely and you're a dick. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why would you want to shorten words that you say when they're just as long as saying the whole fucking word? You know what I mean?
I like that one.
I'll get you on that one.
I definitely get you. What about you, Phil? What's the quote that you think some people say that's bullshit? I also don't like live your best life. I think live your best life's a bit of a fucking hypocritical thing as well.
I don't like that. Yesterday's history, tomorrow's mystery, and what is it today? Today's the gay day. What's the today?
Let me Google it. What is it?
Yesterday's mystery. Yesterday's history, tomorrow's mystery. Today's something, or live in the present or something. And I'm like, well, tomorrow's not really a mystery because
yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why they call it the present.
Yeah, that. I don't like it. Don't agree with it.
I've never heard that before, ever.
No, I haven't.
I've not heard that before.
I have to agree. It does sound stupid.
But it is a bit shitty, yeah. Yesterday's history, tomorrow is a mystery. That's why they call it the present. Yeah, it's a bit of a meh one, isn't it?
Mm.
What's that one that people say when they say, and you always say that it's a name, they say something like Uncle Dave. I can't remember what's the fucking thing. I've totally lost it. I've lost it. It's like a saying people would say. Fucking Google it. Let's see what anybody's saying in chat while I Google this.
I'm looking through sayings, and I don't know. Some of them are just ridiculous. But...
I did just say today the gay day. I couldn't think of what it was, and that's the only thing that I was just like, today is that's it. I'll be done for coming and slating Venom, slurs. And now I'm going to be offending the great gay pride people.
You're gonna have them burning the
Tom.
Yeah.
Go on, sorry.
Is it Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt?
That's it.
Colin.
Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. I've never fucking ever got that, and I don't understand. Bob, and who the fuck's Fanny?
Your aunt, apparently.
You know what I mean? Like I don't even know where that comes from.
Have you ever met anyone called Fanny? I don't think I've ever met anyone called Fanny.
I've met a few with them.
I've met a few fucking cunts, but that can't.
Yeah, Tom's Christmas tree would be lovely if it stopped going like a disco every 10 minutes.
Still
and a bit bigger.
Like, it's nice and slow.
I haven't got no space for a big one. All I'm saying is Poppy's not getting presents under the tree this fucking time.
Tom's all right, but you know, we went live once and done Banter once, and he made Craig redraw his curtains because there was a little spot behind it. So the other way
No, like I've got a fucking Christmas tree here, right? And I've literally positioned myself. I'm usually in the other side of the corner, but I positioned myself because I thought, fuck it, I did last week. Bit Christmassy, take the piss with Paul. But Craig had that fucking light shining right through. You couldn't see his fucking head. Like you could literally shine up back of his head.
I said, halo.
I was like, draw your fucking curtains. We can't see shit. I don't think there's really an understanding of Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, when basically it just means you've got it.
But then is a Bob a reference for something then? Because if Fanny's your aunt is a reference for the fact that your aunt has a Fanny, your uncle doesn't have a Bob, he has a cock. Did you go with that one?
Hold on.
Tom's got five through it.
A woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle.
Well,
I don't get.
If she wants
I
to
don't
make
get.
a baby, I don't agree with that.
Well, it's left. What we'll do is, I've done all the questions, all the funny questions, all the normal questions. We've had quite a good show, so I'll do status of the week, even though the man is not here. We'll still do status of the week, and fuck me, has Paul gone in this week on statuses? That's all I'm going to say about that one. But because he's done funny, he's not really done like a status cuss someone out. He's done a lot of political stuff and just a bit of a fun. Right. So he did one yesterday, and I'll read this one out yesterday. I'm now voting Conservative for two reasons. Bozza J is a funny geezer. Labour has used as much discrediting bollocks as possible to try and win this election. I was always told to be the best by being the best, not by tripping. You're the last man standing. Hashtag Boris the Blade. So if you want some political stuff, go on to Paul's. Oh, I also like this one as well. We'll do one more. If you cut a hole in your belly, it'll probably help you see where you're going because you've got your head wedged that far up your own ass. That sounds more, doesn't it? That sounds more like a Paul would. Right, well, we'll end this show a little bit earlier than normal, but it's getting a bit late. We've had a good show. We've had a good laugh. So I want to thank Adam for coming on, first of all, with half an hour's notice. Thank you for having me, mate, coming on. And Phil, for 45 minutes notice, thanks, mate, for coming on. We'll see you next week, Wednesday. It's going to be the 18th. That'll be the last show, probably for the year, because the 25th is a Wednesday.
Because Tom's going to be busy fishing with me over the Christmas break. Tell him how it is.
The 1st is a Wednesday as well, so we might do a show on a different day, but I know for a fact that over them 2 days, New Year's Day and Christmas Day are on Wednesdays. So thank you ever so much, guys, for joining us. You two boys, you're amazing. I hope you have a great Christmas. We'll see you next week for Best of 2019. That's what we're going to do next week. We're going to do a Best of 2019 show. And we're going to
status, wouldn't it?
And we're going to get status of the year. Best of 2019, and we'll do that next week. We'll probably get Adam back, we might get Phil back, and we'll just do a big show where we get a few guests on here and there and everywhere. So thank you ever so much for everybody who joined us, and we'll see you next week. Peace out, everyone.